Hello, once again. We are honored to have our sister, Bigley. She's a political analyst and she's based in New Jersey. Spending some time with us so that we can discuss the New York trial about Donald Trump. Bigley, you are welcome onto the Political Affairs Show once again. And how are you doing and how's New Jersey?
God's grace, I'm doing well. New Jersey is doing well. What else can I say? And my pleasure to be back on with you again.
Well, I'm so excited. Sister Bigley is joining us by phone. So I had to grab her even in the office. So please just bear with us in case if the line goes off and it comes back. It's part of the job. Bigley, 34
Yes, sir.
counts, 24
Mm.
counts, 34 counts of falsifying business records against Donald Trump. What can you say about that, please?
Well, there's a lot to say. A lot to say is that the lawfare, those are the part of the deep state, are doing whatever they can to get Donald Trump in jail, or they want the public opinion to turn against him since he's a front runner or he's a Republican presidential nominee as at this moment. So it's all part of the election interfering. That is why anytime you see Trump in front of the mic, he kinds of hammer on this. And the 34 counts that they have come with, what is it? What is the crime? The the prosecutor or the district attorney has even brought it out and said, okay, because every count must have a statute.
Right,
That's the law in the book. That's the legal law. Because if, for instance, I go and murder someone, or I go and steal something, or rob a bank,
right,
they'll tell me that they are going to charge me. This is the law on the statute for this crime. This is A, B, C, and D. They quote it. For you, the defendant, to know what crime you have committed and what it is in the books, then you are aware. That is why they have lawyers or legal attorneys who are specialized in various uh, parts of the law. But with Trump, when I remember when he came out to bring out all these frivolous crimes against him, they asked him, a journalist asked him, what are the crimes that Trump has committed? Give us the statutes. He said, oh, you guys will see and you know. And as at now, nobody knows, nobody has seen anything legally. So it's all part of let's get Trump, let's get Trump. It's a public perception, but unfortunately, it's backfiring against them big time.
Um, the word out there is saying that he has been charged 34 counts of falsifying business record. Does it mean that falsifying business records cannot be defined? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, one, they are saying the whole falsifying of business records regarding all this stems to Tommy Daniel, the hush money payment.
Right.
Okay. And that hush money payment, as they stipulate, Trump never gave,
Michael
signed it.
Michael
Trump never
Cohen.
gave Michael Cohen
Yes.
any money. And today, Trump's CEO, the CFO, the financial uh, director of his company,
Right.
he testified today and said Michael Cohen brought him the invoice, right? That he has to pay 130,000. And since they have been working with Cohen or they know him for so long, working with Trump, so he gave the financial CEO, CFO, gave that order for the check or for the amount to be given out to Cohen. He did not consult with Trump. Trump didn't know anything about it. That's today's testimony.
And I understand they
So
said
if he,
I understand they said there's a tape recorder where there was a tape recorder where Trump agreed that some money should be paid.
yes, that is not. It could be. It could be other. It could be other. Trump doesn't just pay one person; he pays thousands and thousands and millions of people. So it could not be that payment might not be related to this Tommy Hashmani case as is being speculated. And I remember last week there was this. He's supposed to be the prosecution brought this during the hearing brought an expert who is supposed to be a phone data forensic analyst who was put on trial. If people have the chance, they can Google Robert. He's called Giovida. He has a Robert Giovina. He has the last name sounds Italian. People can Google him, and they can. He makes every day. He makes a YouTube video,
right,
breaking it down, the court hearing, breaking it down point by point. So those who have the time can go Google it and see him, and then they can know all the proceedings has been going in the court. So he is more or less doing a live coverage or a live presentation after the court from the feedback he gets from the inside the court.
Right.
Yes. So the 34 counts is always, but today's hearing, when the prosecution brought Trump's financial officer, the CFO, that man said no, Trump didn't give him. He was the one who told the clerks to put it in there as a legal what is it called, legal expense.
Okay.
It didn't come from Trump. Yes.
Let's move forward. Let's talk about the gag order. What is the gag order? We keep on hearing about the gag order. The gag order, he's violated the gag order, and each gag order he's paying $1,000. As of last week, we understand he had to pay about $9,000. Now, today, listening to the news media, the judge is saying that it looks like the gag order is the amount of money he's supposed to pay is not working. So the next time he's going to go to prison for I don't know. Talk to about the gag. Tell us about the gag order. What's going on? What's the meaning of the gag order?
Yes. They did put the gag order on him for some time. For any violation, that's $1,000, and it accumulated to 9,000.
Right.
And today, and it's not working in the sense that Trump is always out there in the front of the media. And in actual fact, the gag order is just a way that they don't want him to be in front of the cameras and talk about this court issue, because one, the judge himself is compromised, the daughter is compromised, Michael Cohen is compromised, a lot of people are compromised. And when Trump stands there, he's also saying his version of the truth. They don't want the truth to come out to the public. So the only way that they can stop you from him not talking for the public to be informed is that let's zip your mouth, let's put a gag order on you so you cannot talk, because people are paying attention to this court proceeding. And by that doing, it hampers Trump down, and Trump is not giving up. So today the judge said, okay, all the gag fines haven't worked, so the next time we are going to put you in jail. So we'll see what happens. Right.
But it looks like when a case is in court, it's not supposed to be discussed in the media. I mean, the witnesses are not supposed to discuss that in the media. But it looks like Mike Cohen is always on TikTok. I mean, Donald Trump's former fixer is always on TikTok. And it looks like he's never been given a gag order. And I think that's a violation of the proceedings.
Exactly. This is the whole... Exactly. This is how usually when a judge rules and give a gag order, most of the time it's in the real murder cases and big, fraudulent cases, because they don't want you to go back and be talking among people. So they put a gag order on both the defendant and the accuser. So it goes both ways. It's not just on one person. And this is not to that level that this kind of order will be needed. But like I said, it's all part of silencing Trump. He shouldn't talk. He shouldn't reach out to his voters, because now, if not because of this, he should have been on the campaign trail running his campaign. But they've tied him down in the court. So all this is all part of their strategy, because the Jack Smith is not working. What is that called? The classified thing is not working. The January 6th is not working. The Fannie Lewis is not working. The Trish James, the Attorney General, who got who was trying to extort him of almost $500 million. So all these things are not working. It's backfired. So this is their last hope. And then, so when they were trying all these things, thinking it will happen before the primaries or before, you know, this year, that they could have gotten him in jail or something or got him off. That when even Colorado and a few states brought that Trump cannot be on the ballot, it went all the way to the Supreme Court. All those things failed. So this is their last hope. That is why when those failed, that is how they found a way to put this court proceeding within the election period. Right. So it to tie Trump down. They were thinking his voters would demoralize, and now independent voters and some Democrats are now upset and angry that they have seen that this is a lawfare. They have seen that this is a ways and means of getting Trump at all costs. So Democrats are even coming out in droves in support of Trump with this.
He's an ex-president. Isn't he supposed to enjoy presidential privileges? And what is going on in the courthouses right now? Isn't he supposed to be falling? Isn't he supposed to fall between the status of limitations as an ex-president?
Yes. This case, the hush money case, for instance, is way past the statute of limitation. That was 8 years ago.
Right.
So they went and dragged this thing up because even before then, when it was even within the statute of limitations, what happened? It went because they charged that it was supposed to be a federal crime, Federal Election Commission, which deals with campaign issues. They were saying Trump used the campaign money to pay the hush money. But when Federal Election Commission looked into this case in 2018 thereabout, they saw that no, Trump didn't use any campaign fund. He didn't violate any campaign fund issue. So the case was thrown out. Okay. Then they realized that no, okay, it didn't work with the federal level. Now let's bring it to the state level. So the Southern District of New York, which also opened an investigation into this, they went as far and realized, no, this is not what we can prosecute. It's not, he hasn't done anything wrong. Nothing is against the law. They closed that book. But then the Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragdon, even when he was running, first he was running on this case to get Trump, like Letitia James, the Attorney General. But when he came and he won, and he came in office and he realized there was no dead there, he closed the file. But then a few Biden and his people tried a way to revive this, and this guy brought back this case. So the whole thing is so frivolous, very frivolous. But they are just trying to get Trump, to get him not to win the presidency and not come, because they are so scared. They are very scared, knowing that when Trump comes the second time, this time, he knows where all the bones are buried. And he's not going to be lenient with a lot of people. So that is their fear. That is their fear. And they have the news media, who is their mouthpiece, propaganda, saying all things just to get people saying Trump is not a good person. Trump is bad. He is so. They are projecting all this while they have been projecting. But unfortunately, people are waking up to all this crap.
I would like us to move forward. Let's look at David Parker, the former National Enquirer publisher, the one who came out with his testimony on Friday. What can you tell us about him?
Yes. Well, as for news media, it happens all along. Yeah. They always have stories, and they print their stories, whether New York Times, Washington Post, or television media, print or television or radio. They all have their sources. They are journalists, whether they're investigative journalists or entertainment journalists or whatever, sports journalists, whatever model they are. They all have their stories. They fish out, and most of the time it does happen. When even New York Times has a story, a lead to a story. Let's say they have a lead to a story regarding the White House. they kind of warn the president, we are going to print this story. Maybe maybe the government, sometimes not the president too, but let's say the government is doing an illegal thing in another country. Whether they are sending weapons illegally to, let me just say, to Ghana, for instance, illegal means. But then an investigative journalist have got a tip off on that. So if the New York Times is going to print that story on the front pages, that will be an embarrassment to the government. The government, that's what, hashes the Times, don't print it. And then most of the time they use the term, it's going to be against our national security. That's what they always do. It's going to be against our national security. And then what happens? The story is killed or is put on a back burner. So these things happen. Regarding Parker, the National Enquirer,
yes.
David Parker, the National Enquirer guy, yeah. He's in the more or less entertainment publisher in the media, yes. Yeah. So they get stories. And most of the time, sometimes when these stories get to them, it's either for them to print it out or wait. Because sometimes they also have to verify some of the stories that come to them. Because if they don't cross-check some of their stories, what does it become? They can be sued for defamation.
Right.
So they also, yes. And then sometimes also when this, let's say, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he broke the story about Arnold Schwarzenegger having an affair with his nanny. Okay. Had a child, not affair, but had a child with the nanny.
Right.
So a lot of celebrities, entertainment, or politicians, they have stories about them. Either they choose to print it or not print it. And sometimes, they choose not to print it.
And it's
because they are using their discretion. It's not a crime. They are using their discretion. Exactly. They are using their discretion. So he has printed a lot of stories about celebrities, politicians, everyday people,
But in Trump's case, they said for him trying to suppress the story, it was a way of trying to change the elections. They are presuming that if people would have gotten the story, the elections could have gone in favor of Hillary. That is the perception being thrown out there.
No. This affair, if it's right, this affair happened long before Trump was even running for president. Okay. And two, at the time, the alleged story regarding the Stormy Daniels hush money thing.
Catch and kill.
The story had went to Parker through Cohen. You see, so when you look at everything, Cohen is the person who was trying to find a way to extort Trump. But he had to take it, so he was playing a network, trying to play Trump's, what is his name? His CFO.
Right.
The financial guy I just talked to you about.
Yes.
Because it was Cohen who took Robert, who took the thing to the man and said, hey, we have to pay this amount. Okay, because he knows him that he's being Trump's lawyer. Why not? He gave the go ahead for that man. So Cohen, let's put it, he has been trying to extort Trump. He has been trying to extort Trump, finding a loop around, going through the AMI guy, the Parker guy, and say, this is it.
So
that Trump...
It means that all along, David, all along, Mike Cohen has been forming some conspiracy. Now let's talk about him. Who is that gentleman? Who is he? Michael Cohen. Who is he? Why is it that he's all over the place? His name is popping up in this trial issue.
Yes. As far as we know from public records or what we read, Michael Cohen is just a lawyer.
Okay.
Being a lawyer too, it's like most business people have their lawyers. They retain some lawyers to do their dirty job for them, in the sense that, hey, I broke something here. Don't go and don't make it go public. Go hush the story or kill the story.
Right.
So they do their leg work and dirty jobs for them, for most of these celebrities or politicians. So Cohen has been with Trump for a while in regards to the extent of what he does. I don't know, but from what I've read through print media or online and stuff, he was with Trump, but he was an opportunist. That's the word I was looking for. He was an opportunist,
Okay.
trying to find ways around Trump. So when Trump was campaigning, he won. He wanted to be working in the White House.
Okay.
As Trump's what is that word? Chief of staff.
Oh, okay.
Chief of staff or Attorney General. But Trump knew the kind of guy he was, so he didn't give him any post within. He kind of cut him off. So since Trump cut him off, now what does he do? This is where he comes in, trying to extort Trump, trying to get him through to where we are today. So he has not been a loyal person. He was all in there for himself. Because even during the hush money issue stuff that came, actually, it wasn't about the hush money. As they were going along, they realized that Cohen, had evaded taxes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
That is why he had to have a plea deal and go to jail. So it was part of he being caught in his web of lies. The New York medallion, the taxes have this medallion thing, the one that raised the fare, right? In the taxi cab. He has those things with a lot of taxi cabs, and he has been, what is the word? He has been evading taxes in Chicago. So there's a family business that, they've evaded taxes and things. So if they were going to take him on, actually they have to take him on that. But for him to play bargain out, and since they were looking for Trump all by the time he won the election, so now they had to use Cohen, and then he has to come up with this Stormy Daniels thing because he knew about this Stormy. He alleged that he was a person who tried to kill the story. You see, so this Cohen guy is a bad. He's not a loyal person.
Wow, that is he's a snitcher. That's what we say in the United States.
Yes, that's the word. He's a snitcher.
He's a snitcher.
Mm-hmm. He's a snitch.
Yesterday, Donald Trump was at a race course yesterday, and
Yes.
The vibration alone was something else. Can you just touch on that briefly? Then we'll bring the curtain down.
Oh yeah, he was at the Miami Grand Prix race call yesterday, and when he got anywhere he goes, USA, the chant Trump, 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 USA, USA. Well, even if you watch the clippings from YouTube or Instagram or whatever social media, it's heartwarming that he's got all these people who are still, who still support him, who still love him. This is not what, all the lawfare groups, they underestimated the intelligence of the American people.
Right.
They underestimated how pissed people are in this country.
Right.
So in their mind, they thought bringing all these charges against Trump was going to erase him. Nobody will hear of him again. And that would have been it. And then they could have taken him on and broken him down. But this is making him stronger. And people are loving him the more. Those who didn't even vote for him, 16 and 20, are now coming in droves to vote for him. So now they are in fear. So anywhere he goes, and, Trump is a genius. He takes, like the saying goes, make lemonade out of lemon.
Right.
So he's using the lemon that they are throwing at him, giving to him, making lemonade out of it. For instance, when he comes to New York, after he's done with the court, where does he go? First, he went to the bodega store where the store owner was imprisoned for somebody attempting to kill him, put a gun at his head, and he shot the person in self-defense. What did Avik Bragg do? He put him in jail.
Why? Is it excessive force for defending yourself?
It was, he put him in jail. But it was public pressure before he had to release the guy, and that case was dismissed and closed. So what did Trump do? He went into Harlem. He went into that bodega shop.
Wow.
And look at the people there yelling, "We love Trump, we love Trump, we love Trump." Okay, he did that. Then the following week after that, when he came to New York during one of the court trials after it, where did he go? 6 a.m. He was at the construction site where the contractors were, union workers and contractors and workers were building. Look at the crowd. 6 a.m. He was there in the midst of the middle class, the blue workers. There's a word for it. It just kept my mind. The middle class people. He was there among the construction workers.
The union,
the union workers.
The union workers.
Yes, and they were all there in droves, supporting him. Where did he go last week? He went to the police FDNY where he bought tons of pizza and gave it and sent pizzas to the police, the fire department and the police crew, where people were still out there in droves chanting him on. So now you see, so people are loving him instead of hating him, because the media made a lot of people hate Trump for nothing. And if you see people and you ask them, those who hate Trump to the core, and you ask them, what did he do? They babble. There's nothing they can't find a word to explain what he did to them or why they hate him. They just hate him because the media has propaganda and brainwashed them so much that they can't see through anything. Or it's so myopic.
Wow.
But they are not. Yes, they are not enlightening themselves, opening up themselves, and begin to question and ask, "Oh, why do you want me to hate someone? What did the person do?" They say, "No, that's where we are, unfortunately."
Wow.
So yesterday I hear and sometimes he goes to the WWF. When he goes there, the Park Stadium, over 40,000, 50,000 crowd. Everybody's on their feet chanting, "We love Trump, Trump, USA, USA." So it's killing the Democrats and it's killing these people. And now they don't even know what to do.
Wow. I love you for your passion and keep the faith.
Yes. We have to.
I want to ask you the last question and then we can wrap up. Any choice on your vice presidentship? Do you have any person in mind? Can you just spell out some names out there and then from the way you see things and from what you have read, who do you think will be suitable?
At the moment,
yes.
Personally, I say anyone Trump brings, because the people he's chosen, they betrayed him. You see, like Pence, people have betrayed him. Those he worked with in the government in his, during his presidency, they betrayed him. But now he has a whole lot of teams who are ready to start working with him day one. For me personally, anybody he chooses to be vice president, I'm okay with. But then if we have to look at something, there are two people I'm looking at so far now, but hey, I could be wrong. One is Ben Carson.
Ben Carson.
Dr. Ben Carson.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's a black guy.
Yes. He's a black guy. Yeah. He's even killed. He's a very smart person. Like they say, the yin and the yang. So he's the one who can balance Trump. Mm-hmm. But the only downfall for him is that he hasn't been in politics. Well, he's been in politics, but he's not been in the government to know how the bureaucracy and things run within the system. Right. But you don't have to be a bureaucrat to know how things run. As long as you follow the lead of your leader, you'll be good and fine. Right. The other person that I'm seeing lately is the Ohio Senator J.D. Vance.
Okay.
He's a firebrand. He's a firebrand. He's a first American MAGA guy. Wow. He's a MAGA. Two, he's young. Ohio is not a competitive state for us. The Republicans are going to win. Right. So if Trump takes the J.D. Vance as his running mate, it means anyone who replaces him, that Senate seat, can will easily win that Senate seat.
Right.
Yes. And then, of course, he being young, he can continue with the First American agenda down the line and continue in Trump's American First policies.
Wow.
So for now, I'm only looking at these two people. Earlier on, I thought this lady from Hawaii, Gillibrand, not Gillibrand. Oh, her name is there's how come I forgot? I just
All
Gills,
right.
Gills. Well, maybe you can get it soon.
Right.
She was a former congresswoman.
Oh, yes, yes.
She's
yes.
a military woman. Yes.
Yes.
And then she was from Hawaii. She
Okay.
represented Hawaii. Yes.
Okay.
I thought of her a while back during the early stages, but when you reach certain things, so she's too liberal in some stuff. She's
Okay.
a Democrat, but she sounded like a
Yeah, she
middle
was.
of the road person.
I mean, she's a Democrat, right? And then she
Yeah,
switched
she's a
cabinets.
Democrat,
Yes.
but she was a middle of the road person, independent thinking. She's the middle of the road.
Right.
She was the one who brought Kamala Harris down. Remember the debate with them? She was running as a presidential candidate
Yeah.
when Biden and them were running on the Democrat
Yeah.
ticket.
Yeah.
But then she was the one who brought down Biden.
Is it Tulsi Gabbard or somebody?
Tulsi, yes, Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah,
Tulsi
Gabbard.
Gabbard.
She was
yes,
in the
she's the
military. I
one.
think she was
She was a military. Yes, so she's still a reservist.
Yes.
Yeah, she's still a reservist. Right. Yeah. So I was looking at the time, and then I said, oh, but now it's Carson and JD. But I decided that anyone Trump chooses, he knows better. He knows what he's doing. So I'm fine with anyone.
All right.
Yes, as long as we win, that's what matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, that was our big sister, Bigley. Big League, our political resource person. And whenever I call upon her to give me tidbits about what is going on in American politics, in the Democratic Party or in the Republican Party, she always comes in to refresh our mind. My name is Martin Pettigo, and I'm streaming live from Pennsylvania. And I just want to say that we thank you so much for spending some time with us. Please stay tuned next week for the next political affairs. Sister Bigley.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say,
Brother Martin.
I just want to say I love you and thank you so much.
Love you too, and thank you so very much for giving me this dinner. Right.
All right. Okay. Bye. So that was Sister Bigley. This program has been sponsored by Mozatus Media, and then Sister Bigley joined us by phone. And then this program will also be telecast or streamed also on Stepno. God bless you all. Until another time, my name is Martin Pettigo. Political Affairs.